when it comes to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, well, he has made a big announcement as well when it comes to affordability crisis, as inflation has gone through the roof. It's at a 40-year high. This is something that his government has been, thinking about what to do. And until now, I mean, they had said that there were a few measures in place and that they wouldn't get too involved and they'd let the Bank of Canada deal with the interest rate increases. But, to that, the newly elected Conservative leader, Pierre, had his own thoughts about about Justin Trudeau's announcements on the $4.5 billion spending, of which $3.1 billion is in addition to the spending on affordability that was announced in the budget earlier this year. And the Conservative leader, Pierre, shortly after Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's announcement, did his own press conference on Trudeau's plan. And we have the entire message for you. Take a look.
Justin Trudeau is out of touch and Canadians are out of money. The cost of government is driving up the cost of living. $500 billion of inflationary deficits have bid up the cost of the goods we buy and the interest that Canadians pay. And that is why we are experiencing 40-year highs in inflation today. Furthermore, inflationary deficits are also the inflationary taxes that are driving up the cost for workers and businesses to produce the goods that we buy. On top of that, Trudeau proposes yet more spending to bid up costs even further. The more he spends, the more things cost. It is just inflation. And here we are today with 40-year highs in inflation, where Canadians are spending more just to feed themselves, to heat their homes, and to buy a home in the very first place. The reason that, yeah. So I mean, we have basically a liberal heckler who snuck in here today to, well, right. Are you going to let me make my misstatement?
From the guy who actually reported first on the Prime Minister breaking the law.
Yeah. Are you going to let me make my statement?
Ask a question. Say yes.
I've actually never seen you heckling the Prime Minister.
Ask Minister
I've never seen you heckling the Prime Minister. Look, bottom line is this.
You're going to take some questions at the end of the statement.
Yes, I will taking 2 questions at the very end. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So I'm going to start my statement again, and hopefully this time without interruption from the Liberal heckling gathering here, and we'll speak directly to Canadians so that they can hear what the new Leader of the Opposition has to say. I'll begin again. The cost of government is driving up the cost of living. The more Trudeau spends, the more things cost. $500 billion of inflationary deficits mean more dollars bidding up the cost of the things we buy and the interest we pay. On top of that, inflationary taxes have inflated the cost of businesses and workers to produce those very same goods. The more Trudeau spends, the more things cost. Now, this is not about an accounting ledger. It is about real pain for real people. With food prices up 10% year over year, 4 in 5 Canadians are forced to cut back on their diets. We have 30-year-olds living in their parents' basements or trapped in tiny apartments from which they cannot escape. We have seniors who watch their savings evaporate because the cost of heat and other essentials has risen out of reach. Now, I thought Justin Trudeau might have learned the lesson from the fact that I won the leadership. He suddenly took an interest in inflation. After 2 years of my warning him that his inflationary money-printing deficits would cause this problem, he finally admitted that there is a problem. And he announced he would hold a press conference today, one day after I issued a challenge to him. And the challenge was this, that he promised to all Canadians that there would be no new tax increases on seniors and workers. But today, he failed to make that commitment. And so Conservatives are putting him on notice that we will oppose any attempts by his government to raise taxes on working people or seniors in this country. Right now, he has scheduled tax increases on people's paychecks and on their heat, gas, and groceries. Canadians cannot afford these tax increases, and they come at exactly the worst time. And that is why Conservatives will lead the charge against them. We have also made other practical solutions. Cap government spending and cut government waste so that we can bring down the inflationary deficits and taxes that have caused the problems in the first place. Eliminate the carbon tax to bring down gas and grocery bills and to bring a net savings to families who are paying more under the tax than they get back under the rebates. Cancel the increases to payroll taxes and incentivize municipalities to speed up and lower the cost of building permits so we can get millions of new houses.